5 years, it was a deliberate policy of the government intending to look at how to reduce the borrowing. At a certain time, it was a commitment to reduce on borrowing as we do the payment.
Yes.
But now the moment you find for us as a country, we are increasing much more in borrowing, but yet production is not matching with the borrowing. That, of course, leaves us with the question of debate. And for comparing to Kenya, which is whose GDP is higher than that of Uganda, and by the way, around 124, and our own, which is about 35, 36 in terms of the GDP. The USA dollars, 35 USA billion dollars. And that puts us at a risky position, even which is lower. So our debt, our capacity of debt management is the one which is questionable.
Yes.
You're not supposed to be increasing in borrowing. You're supposed to be increasing in production.
Yes.
Because our export rate level is at 16%. And when now, as you're asking me the question, compared to the export rate level of Kenya, then our tax base is 13. For that of TZ, 13%. For that of TZ is 19. Then that of Kenya is around 22. So that looks at the consumption level, who produced the production chain, and how much you are able to contribute back to the economic growth, which will be dealing with production.
Yes.
So that's why it remains an imbalance. And in all the wisdom invested upon those who were doing, all of this preparation of the budget, they do it indeed, their estimates.
Yes.
But there remains with gaps, the fiscal gaps, the production gaps, and the debt management gap, which puts us at a position to think twice as a country if at all we are to make an advanced progress to achieve the theme that has been stated to be industrialization for inclusive growth, employment, and wealth creation. So the question remains unanswered. What is our level of production, industrialization, that maybe will be able to bridge this gap? That's where the question lies. And also looking at how much are we investing, in production vis-a-vis our consumption capacity. And one of the gap that is really has been identified even by some of other stakeholders, especially from the opposition, they indicate that what is invested much more in production, public expenditure seems to be higher than what is invested in production. And that's where we always get an imbalance that it's high time the country should look at.
Yeah, but definitely we've seen history, stating that we cannot finance our own budget. Looking at the tax, if you compare the revenue from our taxes and our budget, it's almost not even half. We borrow most of the money we are going to use to finance the budget. So if we are to still borrow, even given this budget of 48.1 trillion, you can bet that we are going to get half of that in tax revenue, given the fact that Ugandans right now are already distressed with the current taxes. Okay. Now, what do you think government should do in order to reduce on this foreign borrowing? Should we consider local borrowing, domestic borrowing, as a way of, supplementing on our incomes as a country?
The budgetary policy, the public budgetary policy, it requires, if we are to answer and make the raised questions, it should match with the governance policy reforms. Because there is a saying that you should cut the cloth according to the size of your coat.
Yes.
We shouldn't now be talking about having a sustainable budget that will achieve this theme of industrialization. Yet we are spending much more on non-productive sectors. What are the non-productive sectors? We don't need 80 ministers. In other times when you talk about ministers, someone will say, you see, this gentleman is talking about my minister. But we are talking about how we can save our country.
Yes.
We don't need 80 ministers, a population of 46. And that's where money begins to flow. And we don't need fast brochure. The vehicles for a speaker, I'm not against the speaker, we support her, to first spend just on 2 offices, just 2.5 billion.
Yes.
One can, one time I was able to watch a lifestyle, of a certain president, I think Netherlands, was even just riding a bicycle. I'm not saying that our speaker should ride a bicycle, but do I need 2.5 billion so that they can have a speaker? And yet down there is a certain hospital which needs medicine. Do you need, as a president, 139 presidential advisors? These are positive forms but radical ones. And we don't want just for a matter of fulfilling a duty that the minister has read the budget. And we fail to earmark ways that will bridge the gap of where the budget becomes a pro-people budget. You are concerned about the lives of the people.
Yeah.
Very soon you are aware that we are about to now again spend 800 million, which is take for the medication of Honorable Nambozi.
Yes.
The other time, of course, they were talking about the rate. We wish her a quick recovery. But now, are we looking at how we can reduce the expenditure of the 800 billion, which is going to production? Maybe if that money, the 800 billion, if it is reduced and then it goes to the improving the specialized medication in our country. So with budget, one time it happened to be I was in charge for at local government level over how budgetary allocations are considered. You relocate, even at this time as we share information with the public, it's high time it can take even just few days. We relocate the amount of money where it is not much more necessary, and then we put where it matters: production, health, and education.
Yes.
You are hearing about the parish development model, and so far what I had seen, it was around like 1 trillion, which is allocated the parish development model. And we are talking about 100 million, and the 100 million, which is a good start. May I'm not either against the move, but we are talking about a realistic budget that will lead to growth, the wealth creation. The 100 million which is going to the parish, if at all we were now to say we are increasing production, when you hear about what they call GDP, it means that every household is supposed to be in the production chain. Yes. So the moment now we are saying that the 100 million and we are having like maybe 1,000 household in a parish, we are looking at 1,000 household in a parish. And that means divided by the 100 million. Yeah. You see, really, it is just
very small.
It's very small.
It's Doctor.
It's very small.
I have to cut you right there. Though that is Dr. Tindierwa for you. You're of course going to have more of this coming up next after a very short break. Remember, today is the National Budget Day, and as a national, as a person who belongs to Uganda, maybe a national or not, it's upon you. It's a mandate to listen to the national budget and listen to how government is planning to earn and as well spend the money that it collects from you. I will be back in a very short time with Dr. Tindierwa with more of what's happening on the national budget platform. And my name is Anthony. Thank you very much for staying with us. I'll see you around.